You're watching this on a break or in the car right before you walk back into your job that you've already mentally checked out of. You want your money to actually work for you, but every single finance guru out here is telling you that you have to day trade, that you have to stare at these candlesticks and you have to reach hearts all day and risk your rent money. The time you looked at that option chain, I know you froze and you went ahead and closed that app. So here's the thing that changed literally everything for me. I left my 9 to 5 using this one very boring option trading strategy that literally takes me about 10 minutes a month. Yes, 10 minutes a month. There's no day trading, there's no charts. I literally get paid holding stocks I already own. And what almost nobody tells you is that you don't need to be rich or some math genius to do this. All you need is to follow the steps, literally. In the right order though. The reason most people get stuck is not the strategy, it is that they try to live off of their trading income while there's this mountain of debt that is still hanging above their head. So every dip or every slight loss in the market feels like an emergency. Most people quit their very first month, and it's not because it does not work, but because they did this one specific thing that turned a calm, boring income strategy into a panic. I almost made the same mistake. I am going to show you exactly what it is so you never do. If you stay with me, you are going to understand exactly how this option trading strategy works with real numbers plus the order that I follow. Pay off the debt first, then let the trading income quietly replace your 9 to 5 paycheck so that you can finally stop all that worrying. I have been trading since February of 2020 and I started with one contract of AMD. I panic sold that thing at the very bottom of a crash, and it was because I didn't have any discipline. I didn't have no system. The cover call strategy is a very boring, repeatable thing that I do now that actually let me hand in my notice. So stay to the end. I am going to show you the one mistake that most people quit cover calls in their first month, the same that almost got me too. Let me tell you why I am so obsessed with actually paying off your debt before you try to live off of your trading. And it's because I learned this the hard way. For years, I was at a 9 to 5. I was living paycheck to paycheck and juggling a chronic disease, just never knowing what would actually happen to my job. My job didn't feel safe, and so I was trying to grow my money in the market. And at the same exact time, I owed everybody else. My journey started with investing into stocks, and every single time the market had dipped, it felt like it was a 5-alarm fire. Why? Because the debt did not care. It didn't care that the market was down. The premium payment for that credit card was coming. It was still due. So debt just makes you like a forced seller. So you just sell. You literally sell at the worst possible time in the market because you kind of need that cash and not because it's actually the right move. My mom told me years ago to learn trading and how it was going to change our circumstances. And the market crashed and I panicked and I sold at the bottom every share. I had no cushion. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have any peace. It was literally the debt that I owed was the reason why I could not hold the shares that I purchased. So I just decided, I said, I'm not going to try to escape that way, that I was actually going to find something that was more stable. I was going to kill the debt so that not the next single dip is about to force my hand. So right now, one bad week in the market, it might wreck your whole entire month because you're just so stretched thin. Now I want you to imagine a bad week happening and you just shrug your shoulders because you don't owe anybody and your bills are already covered. Now that calm right there is the whole game. And here is where it gets interesting, because once the debt was gone, I kind of needed a way to make an income that didn't require me to quit my actual life by babysitting a screen all day. So this is where cover calls come in. Let me show you what is a cover call. I'm going to explain this in plain English. Here is the only way you need to think about cover calls. So you know how a landlord owns a house and it rents it out every single month for income. You collect the rent and you still own the shares. That's it. So a cover call is you own at least 100 shares of stock and you sell those shares to someone at a higher price and by a certain date. Now, in exchange for that, they pay you cash right now. Now that cash is called a premium. It's money that is actually predictable that you've made from the trade. Yes, it is predictable. You know how much you're making from the trade even before you submit the trade. That's cover calls. That premium hits your account immediately and it is yours to spend. Now, it doesn't matter what happens next. So we're going to call this the rent collector method. Now, there's 3 pieces. You own the shares. Number 2, you sell the call, basically collecting the rent. And number 3, you just repeat. Now, there are 2 outcomes, but both of them are completely fine. So 1, the stock price stays below that higher price and the option expires and you keep the shares. You keep the rent, which is the premium, and you do it again. Or there's the stock goes above the price and your shares get called away. It simply gets sold at a higher price and you walk away with the rent plus the gain. So this is that boring thing that I do roughly once a week. Not every day, not while watching charts, once a week, about 3 minutes. Now, when I trade, I'd rather have some steady rent coming in rather than a gamble. And I know this probably feels a little abstract. So let me just put some real numbers on it so you can actually see the money. Let me just walk you through one exactly the way I would do it. And I'm going to keep the numbers really, really clean and simple, just so that you can follow every single step. So say you own 100 shares of a stock, trading at $50 per share. So you are going to hold about 5,000 worth of stock that you already believe in. You go to sell one covered call. You pick a price that's higher than today. So let's say the $55 strike. Let's do about 1 month out. You are basically agreeing to sell the shares at $55. For selling that, someone is paying you a premium. Let's say roughly $100. That $100 is in your account today. That is real money that you can use to throw towards that debt. Or you can pull it out, or you can even reinvest. Now, a month later, the stock price jumps to $52. Still under $55 though. It expires worthless for the buyer. So you keep your 100 shares and your $100. Now, next month, you just do it again. Rinse and repeat. Now you can also do this weekly like I do. Now let's say that stock price, it jumped to $58 and this time your shares actually gets called away. Now that just means that you sold at $55. You made the $5 per share gain from the $50 to $55, which is $500 plus the $100 premium that you've already made. So you've profited in total $600. Now the only downside is you didn't capture the run up above $55. Even the bad outcome is you making money. And that's why I sleep real good at night. So the mindset shift is that there is no scenario in that particular example where your rent just disappears. Now picture the first month. You spend literally less than 3 minutes on your phone or on your laptop with your coffee in your hand, and you sell the calls, you collect that premium, and you close the app and you go on about your day. Literally no staring at no charts. The rent just showing up. Now, this is the part where most people get really, really excited. They rush in and they make that one mistake that I promised I would show you. Now hold that thought because I want to give you something first. If you're sitting here thinking, okay, I need the steps. I need the actual step-by-step in the right order. I got you. I put together a free stock trading masterclass where I walk you through exactly how I went from stuck and in debt, working my 9 to 5, living paycheck to paycheck, to me leaving my 9 to 5. I'm going to give you all the step-by-step from A to Z, and it is completely free. The link is in the description. The date and time to my next free stock trading masterclass is all there. Go ahead and grab it, then come right back because the next part, it matters. Okay, so I need to say this right here for the people that's in the back, because this is the whole reason why I love this strategy. You don't have to day trade to do this. You don't have to read a single candlestick or single stock chart, and you don't have to predict anything. You don't have to predict where the market is going in the morning. Now, I would say if staring at charts and trying to figure out how to learn charts, if that's the thing that's stopping you, I'm telling you right now, you can go ahead and let that go. You are literally selling rent on stocks that you already want to hold for the long term. And you're not trying to perfect the market, perfect your entry, and you are not glued to your screen during the market hours. Day trade, it asks you to sit at your desk and to react all day, every day. That is literally a whole second job. But this right here, this is the whole opposite. This is the complete opposite. This is the set it, collect, and you repeat. Now, when I was working my 9 to 5, I could just simply trade a cover call on my lunch break. And that for me right there was the appeal. It fits inside of my life. It fits inside of my lifestyle. And it's so funny because I wasn't going to quit my job to trade. I was quietly building that income that will allow me to quiet quit later. Now, I call this making my effortless income. And I don't mean effortless as in there's no learning. Like, this strategy is very simple. It is very repeatable. The work is up front, but learning it once, and then after that, the maintenance of it all is literally about 10 minutes a month. I already know the people around you are about to start noticing that you are much calmer when it comes to money. When it comes to this trading strategy though, because you're not about to keep refreshing your portfolio in a panic. You're not about to keep asking the internet if the market is crashed or if it's going to crash. You are simply just collecting your rent because you're not waiting on permission, or you're not perfecting or timing the market anymore. So if it's just this calm and this simple, why do people quit their first month? Let me finally show you, because this is the mistake that almost got me too. Now, the number one mistake that most people make when they're trading a cover call for the first month, when panic selling below their cost basis. And I know that sounds really technical, so let me just make it dead simple for you. So basically, the mistake is selling the cover call at a lower price than what you paid for. Usually it's out of fear or it's out of greed. And then you start panicking when the stock moves back up. My one rule, I never sell a call below my cost basis. I only rent out at a price that I'm very happy to sell at. And if my shares happen to get called away, it's okay. I'm very happy with that as well, because I've actually made money on purpose. There is no panic because every single outcome was acceptable before I even placed the trade. So getting assigned and having your shares get sold away, it's not failure or anything. It's literally the strategy actually working. So literally this one rule right here is that difference between me sticking with this for years to come and then the version of me from 2020 who panic sold. So I'm literally the same person. I just have a little confidence. I'm a confident trader, and I have a different system. Let me be really real with you. So the reason why I paid off my debt first is so that I could finally live off of my trading income without doing it scared. There was no debt that was breathing down my neck. There was no stock market crash or stock market dip that could force me to sell. It's just me, it's my stocks, it's taking in the premium, or what I like to call the rent, while I actually live. And that's what leaving my 9 to 5 actually felt like. It wasn't a jackpot, it was just quiet, steady, and an exhale. So I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, are you in the debt payoff phase, or are you holding shares and ready to start collecting that rent? And be honest, I read those. And if you're interested in learning more about this stock trading strategy, I am having a free stock trading masterclass. All the information is in the description. I am Paris Smith, that wealth chick. This video was good to me. I hope it was good to you. With that being said, I got to go. Bye.